Football is back, baby! You know what that means. For some, it means the ultimate experience of glory in the form of the Lombardi Trophy. For others, it's a constant reminder of how deep the tunnel of despair can really go. And let me tell you, boy, it goes deep. No need to fret. We have just the thing to fix your gridiron griefs. No one can resist a feel-good football flick. Whether your team is out here eating W's or taking L's, we can all agree these movies are winners. In honor of the return of football season, we bring you the top 10 football movies of all time. Said, hey! At the number 10 spot, we have the collegiate gem known as The Program. If a football movie doesn't have this much testosterone, it really isn't a football movie. Starring James Caan, Halle Berry, and Omar Epps, The Program gives us an inside look at the high-pressure environment known as Division I college football. The fictional school of Eastern State University was known for its lovable players. While they may not be the calmest bunch, they all understood the assignment. Never take your head out the game.
You think we ought to tell Coach?
Hell no, you don't want to know about this.
Their offense was just as sloppy on the field as they were off it. But with defensive players like this,
You the guy who shot my mother, aren't you? I'm gonna bust your gut open and watch you die!
it really didn't even matter. They might not be the most hygienic, and they certainly need some anger management. But for all their shortcomings, they were competitors, inside and out. At number 9, we have the cult classic known as The Replacements. Have you ever seen such a group of more finely tuned athletic machines? When the main players from the Washington Sentinel football team decide to go on strike, they leave the administration scrambling to fill their spots to save the season from tanking. As it turns out, the owner of the team picked some very protective personnel to fill their shoes. Let's meet a couple of the guys, shall we? Shane Falco, a QB known for choking harder than eating a dozen Popeyes biscuits with no drink. Clifford Franklin, the wide receiver that could run a 4.2 40, but couldn't even catch COVID. And Danny Bateman, the middle linebacker who, you know what? There's really only one way to describe Bateman. This film shows that chemistry and compatibility can compete with raw talent any day of the week, just as long as there's no eggs involved. Coming in at number 8, we have Little Giants. Set in the Midwest of Urbana, Ohio, Little Giants brings us into the highly competitive world of Pee Wee football. When two brothers become coaches of crosstown rivals, things get messy. Mainly because this kid keeps putting sandwiches in his helmet.
What is that?
Cheetos.
Crunchy or puffed?
Puffed.
Wimp.
With one program built for success and another built by kids who don't even know what a football is, it's hard to imagine this showdown going well for our protagonist.
Help us, God!
But with a little help from some certified Hall of Famers, they managed to even the playing field. Even in the stickiest of situations, these little kids show they had heart, determination, and bad skills capable of confusing the most advanced student.
Football, 80% mental and 40% physical. What?
This movie reminds us all that within each underdog, there's an alpha waiting to come out. Except for Icebox. She was the biggest dog on the block. Number 7 goes to the critically acclaimed film known as The Blind Side. Based on the true life of former NFL player Michael Oher, this story follows his journey from life on the streets to making his way into the NFL. The mean streets of Memphis serve as a cruel reminder of how unfair life can be to some people. The relationship between Leanne Toohey and Michael Oher show that while some bonds transcend race, class, and stereotypes, there are many hurdles to leap when it comes to the race against racism.
Y'all know there's a colored boy in your Christmas card?
Controversy set aside, this film was a major success, grossing over $300 million and giving Sandra Bullock an Academy Award in the process. With this combination of charm, awareness, and talented cast, it's no wonder this one was an absolute touchdown! Number 6, we have the spicy Cajun classic, The Waterboy. What can you say about Bobby Boucher? He was a sharp-dressing ladies' man with a battle cry that sounded like nails dragging across a chalkboard. His passion for ultimate hydration often made him the butt of jokes at most football teams. But after one too many laughs at his expense, a can of whoop-ass the size of Captain Insano gets unleashed.
Oh, damn. He's killed, though.
Adam Sandler's comedic genius, paired with his usual cast of suspects, led this movie to becoming a staple of the genre, and Kathy Bates' portrayal of Mama Boucher added just the right amount of kick to the mix. The Waterboy showed us that sometimes dreams are capable of smacking you out of nowhere, so you best be ready when your opportunity comes. Make sure your eyes are on the prize, drink plenty of water, and stay away from sugary drinks.
Water sucks. Gatorade is better. What? Gatorade.
H2O.
Gatorade.
H2O.
Bobby can tell you, they are bad for your body. Number 5 belongs to We Are Marshall. Based on true events back in 1970, We Are Marshall follows the community of Huntington, West Virginia, stricken by grief after a plane crash claimed the lives of their university's football staff, alumni, and players. Enter the charisma of Matthew McConaughey. His portrayal of Coach Jack Langle made even the most skeptic person believe he could sell salt to a snail.
Hey, you know my son, he crapped his pants yesterday. My wife was out shopping, so I had to clean him up. You know what she says to me? I can't believe you finally changed a diaper. It's the first time for everything.
After single-handedly taking on the NCAA, he manages to save Marshall's season by allowing freshman players to compete in the place of their fallen teammates. This story illustrates how death impacts people in different ways, how healing in numbers can help with the grieving process, and that hope can be found even in the darkest of days. At number 4, we have the ultimate underdog story known as Rudy. Rudy Rudiger was undeveloped, undersized, and underestimated every time he stepped onto a football field. But he would eventually become known as having a heart the size of a football stadium.
Come on, Coach, I can do it!
After being rejected multiple times from attending the prestigious University of Notre Dame, Rudy finds himself on the cusp of achieving his lifelong dream of playing for the Fighting Irish football team. Sean Astin's performance left audiences feeling like they could achieve even the loftiest of goals, regardless of how long the shot they may be. While he did suffer his fair share of setbacks due to tragedy, doubt, and outside interference, Rudy ultimately made it through that tunnel, and eventually into a game leaving us with one of the most fulfilling movie endings of all time. Not to mention one of the most popular gifts of all time too. Give this man a hand. Number 3 goes to Any Given Sunday. Directed by Oliver Stone and starring Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx, Any Given Sunday gives us an inside look at the climactic lives of players from the Miami Sharks professional football team. When their starting QB goes down and their second string gets folded like paper mache, third string QB Willie Beeman gets thrown into the fire in a do-or-die game to save their season. Legend has it, he had a cannon for an arm and guts of steel. Well, maybe that first one's still true. Coach Tony D'Amato, played by Al Pacino, has his hands full as he tries to balance the pressures of being on the hot seat, mega egos from his players, and the damage that has been done to his personal life due to his profession. This film's intensity, grit, and A-list cast led it straight to the bank and cemented its place in cinematic football history from just this music video alone.
My name is Willie. Baby, I keep the ladies creaming, and all my fans got screaming. You can defeat me, you're dreaming.
20 some odd years later, it still remains proof that on any given Sunday, anything can happen. Sitting in the number 2 spot, we have Remember the Titans. Football is known for the brotherhood and bonds that it creates while teams come together throughout the season. But back in 1971 in Alexandria, Virginia, well, let's just say things are going to take more than a feel-good speech to get this ball rolling. When T.C. Williams High School gets desegregated, their football team gets some new players and coaches that come along for the ride. Coach Herman Boone, played by Academy Award winner Denzel Washington, is tasked with getting black and white players to set aside their prejudices and unify in the name of success for the program. It wasn't easy. The days were long, the practices were grueling, and bodies were sacrificed.
Hey, little elastic, man. What happened to you?
Man, I just gave your mama a piggyback ride and she weighs twice as much as I.
But through their hard work, they became a lean, mean soul machine, dancing their way all the way to a state championship. America's past has seen some dark days. This film shows us that with a little patience, understanding, and a little ray of sunshine, we can all learn to accept each other. And that's a win-win for everybody. And now it's time for your honorable mentions. Brian's song. Because no football movie should make a grown man cry. The Longest Yard. The football film that was so nice, they made it twice. Invincible. Because we have to celebrate how far Marky Mark has come since rapping and selling draws. These have been your honorable mentions. The #1 football movie of all time goes to Friday Night Lights. In the state of Texas, football is a religion. Friday Night Lights shows us how the relationship between sports, community, and life all affect each other. When the Permian Panthers hit the field, they are expected to be perfect in every aspect of the game. With the state championship expected upon delivery, they find themselves in quite a predicament when their star player, Boobie Miles, goes down with a season-ending injury. After taking all the heat, Coach Gary Gaines, played by Billy Bob Thornton, leads his team on a quest for redemption, while his players deal with family issues, a hostile hometown, and the ever-growing pressure that comes with being a winner. While they do make it to the championship game and leave everything on the field, the Permian Panthers end up falling short of victory by mere inches as their opponents celebrate the win. For some people, football draws out a parallel to life. You control the controllables and give it everything you got. And pray that when it's your time to throw that Hail Mary, somebody is there to bail you out. Do you agree with our list? Let us know in the comments below. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure that you share. We're trying to get our subs and likes up, people. Until the next video, it's your boy Scoop Alexander, signing off.